Hello, it is 9 p.m. At this time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship debate on the access of financement of entrepreneurship. For the international scene, Saudi Arabia calls to the ceasefires in Syria. Welcome to our newsroom, Djibouti, January 13, 2024. The Prime Minister, His Excellency Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, today received Professor Eyüp Kahveci, President of the Turkish Transplantation Foundation, as part of a strategic cooperation aimed at strengthening cooperation between Djibouti and Turkey in the health sector. The meeting was attended by the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Rabil Abdillah. The main objective of this collaboration is the creation of a national transplant centers in Djibouti. This ambitious project includes setting up an ethics committee to oversee medical practices in the field of transplantation, strengthening local skills through training programs and transfer of know-how in partnership with the Turkish Foundation, meeting the growing demand for treatment of dialysis patients. Djibouti's position as a regional reference centers in the field of transportation. The Prime Minister emphasized the importance of widening access to care for congenital malformations through the conclusions of a memorandum of understanding with the national partners, and stressed the need to consolidate organ donations regulation and step up donors awareness campaign. To date, some 20 Djiboutian citizens have benefited from transplant in Turkey. Thanks to this partnership, the commitment of the Turkish Foundation, which is already active in several countries, represents a unique opportunity to raise Djibouti's healthcare systems to an international level. The meeting was attended by Ali Silla, Chief of Staff of the Prime Minister Offices, Dr. Omar Mahmoud Ismail, Director of the University Hospital, and numerous nephrologists and urology specialists from the University Hospital, the CNSS, and the National Police. This initiative illustrates the Djibouti government's determination is to guarantee its population access to cutting-edge healthcare while strengthening international cooperation ties. Chaired by the Honorable Charmake Musa Arre, the Chairman of the Finance General Economy Plannings. Listen to the report.
By the President of the Committee on Finance, General Economy and Planning, Charmake Musa Arre, the latter continued its work analyzing the accounts of public institutions of the National Social Security Fund, as well as the National Agency for Employment and Training for Professional Integration. Bill number 145 of the year 2024 of the National Social Security Fund. Bill number 147 of the year 2024 for the 2023 financial year of the National Agency for Employment and Professional Integration Training, ANAFIP. The government was represented by Omar Abdi Said, Minister of Labor in charge of formalization and social protection, as well as by senior executives of the two mentioned establishments. At the end of its deliberation, the Committee on Finance, General Economy and Planning issued a favorable opinion on the financial account, examined and transmitted for adoption at the next publication of the National Assembly.
The Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, His Excellency Younes Ali Gueidem, met yesterday Sunday, January 12, 2024, with the Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency, Mr. Francisco La Camera. Listen to the report.
Mission to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates as part of his participation in the work of the 15th session of the IRENA Assembly, the Minister of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Younes Ali Gueidem, had one-on-one meeting with the Director General of the International Renewable Energy Agency, Mr. Francisco La Camera. This meeting between the two senior officials made it possible to address several essential points, including the strengthening of energy cooperation between Djibouti and IRENA by accelerating the implementation of various renewable energy projects. The most important are the implementation of the Solar City Simulator software and the project to generalize photovoltaic solar panels in residential areas in order to democratize access to solar energy in the capital.
This morning, at the instigation of the managing directors of the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, Sheikh Mohammed Abdallah, the meeting up access to financing brought together key figures from the financial and entrepreneurial sectors. The panelists were the Managing Director of the Djibouti Guarantee Fund, the Managing Director of the Djibouti Sovereign Fund, the Managing Director of BCMR, the director of East Africa Bank and the president of the Djibouti Young Entrepreneurship Club in a pocket room where many young entrepreneurs were present. Discussions focused on the opportunities and mechanisms to facilitate access to financing. The event created a direct dialogue between financial experts and entrepreneurs, encouraging the sharing of experiences and constructive exchanges thanks to the commitment of the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship headed by Mr. Sheikh Mohammed Abdallah. This event marks an important step in supporting Djibouti's entrepreneurial ecosystems by promoting concrete and innovative solutions to financing challenges. For his part, the managing director of the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship, Mr. Sheikh Mohammed Abdallah, said that this event marks an important step in supporting Djibouti's entrepreneurial ecosystems. Listen for more details.
L'immense honneur d'avoir avec nous les représentants des institutions bancaires. Nous parlons bien sûr de son Excellence, Monsieur le Ministre.
It is a great honor to have with us representatives from various banking institutions. Among them is the Minister and the Director of Djibouti Servant Funds and the Director of the Inclusion Fund. We also have the General Director of the Guarantee Fund here to discuss the possibilities of accessing state guarantees. Joining us as well is the General Director of BCI Bank, who has come to speak directly with you. These topics are of great interest to them, particularly as they wish to facilitate certain processes and better understand the world of entrepreneurship and banking. Additionally, we have the young director of East African Bank who is with us remotely. I want to extend my gratitude to him as well for his willingness to participate, listen, and even potentially explain how to access Islamic financing. Finally, we will hear from a representative of Djiboutian entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur himself, he has first-hand experience in starting a business, taking risks, and navigating the challenge of entrepreneurship. He will share how he launched his venture, whether through bank financing or his own resources, and how he embarked on his entrepreneurial journey.
The managing director of the Djibouti Sovereign Fund said by promoting concrete and innovative solutions to financing challenges. Listen for more details.
Le leadership et le management. Tout est dans le leadership et le management. Quand on parle d'entrepreneuriat, il faut avoir le management et le leadership.
Everything lies in leadership and management. When we talk about entrepreneurship, one must have both management and leadership skills. The same applies to a country. Thankfully, in our nation, we have His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, an exceptional and visionary leader. How do you achieve great things? By always daring to act. He envisions the future and takes bold steps. For instance, launching the Guarantee Fund and the Servant Fund aimed the COVID crisis took courage. As the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. That's why this leadership deserves to be commended. Leadership sets the path and provides a vision, such as the Vision of 2035. However, execution is not the responsibility of just one individual. It involves everyone. It's a team effort. Unity creates strength, and in a country, unity manifests through its institutions. These institutions are the pillars that drive the nation forward, whether it's the Guarantee Fund, the Servant Fund, or ministries like the Ministry of Digital Economy and Innovation, which itself operates like a startup. There are many innovative initiatives happening in Djibouti today, thanks to this collective effort.
Now listen to the Archivist magazine, Prickly Peer Importance. Listen to the report. Djibouti is not spared by this phenomenon, which manifests itself in recurrent severe drought that destroys biodiversity and decimates livestock. In the face of this tragedy, the nomads have no alternative but to flee. But what gives hope in the midst of these climate problems is to see, under the impetus of EVA, Djibouti civil society, determined to fight alongside the government in line with the Djibouti Visions 2035 of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh to find solutions to this climate phenomena, which according to scientific forecasts are likely to worsen in the future. The first African Climate Summit held in Nairobi, Kenya from September 4 to 6, 2023 clearly illustrate the urgent need for Africa to play a significant role in finding solutions to climate change and to move away from its role as victim. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, took part in this African Climate Summit at the head of a strong delegation, including the Minister of Environment and Sustainable Development, Mohamed Abdul Qadir Musa Helem. Djibouti has successfully met many challenges in the fight against climate change, particularly in the area of transitions to renewable energies. This renewable energy project is part of the 2035 vision to make Djibouti the first African country to use 100% green energy by 2035. However, civil society wants to play an important role in the fight against climate change, which is why the 11th editions of the Adailu Interregional Friendship Tournament organized by EVA from August 15 to 19 was not limited to sporting and socio-cultural events, but was also rich in associative activities to raise awareness and exchange best practices on environmental protection. PARI Association is for the promotions of agro-silvopastoralism and inclusive resilience was a particular surprise and caught our attention. In fact, the PARI Association made a wise choice to kill two birds with one stone by organizing the immersion launch of the Prickly Pear project site and took advantage of the large-scale sporting and socio-cultural event to reach thousands of visitors and development players from our 5 regions beyond the Wi'ima watershed. The immersion launch took place in the 3 phases and exhibitions and sale of agricultural products with the kind collaborations of the Wi'ima Cooperative Danfinaitu Girori Adoila Esalu Asagala Adailu, an indoor workshop with projections on prickly pear followed by exchanges. Field visits were organized on the sites of the Prickly Pear Development Project. Through this immersion launch of the Prickly Pear Project, the virtues and opportunities offered by this plant were brought to the attention of participants as follows. In the environmental field, can be used as a natural fertilizers in the agricultural perimeter. In the field of food safety and nutrition, it is rich in vitamin C, fiber, and waters. In the field of cosmetics, it presents entrepreneurial opportunities for the manufacture of soap, shampoos, moisturizing lotions, and oil. Finally, in the field of health, it plays a hypoglycemic role, helping to reduce diabetes and helps the lower bad cholesterol. Recalling that the Prickly Pear Introductions project led by the PARI Association is financed by the European Union as part of the participations of civil society in governance and local development in Djibouti programs implemented in the Republic of Djibouti in partnership with the Associations International of the Maires Francophones and the Association Nationale de Collectivités Locales Djiboutiennes. At the end of the project launched, which took place in 3 successive immersions phases on the prickly pear, the participants clearly grasped that this plant, while rendering considerable services to the environment, undoubtedly present enormous opportunities to be exploited in the short, medium, long terms to help reduce the rural exodus, improving to be an opportunity for the development of rural entrepreneurship, the creation of income-generating and job creation sectors, and an undeniable assets in the fight against unemployment and poverty. We remain in Obole, where the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity met representatives of this rural community. The meeting took place in the presence of officials and representatives of Ali Sabih regions, including the regional prefect Abdul Malik Mohammed Banoita, the president of the regional council, the regional parliamentarian, and second vice president of the National Assembly, Umar Ahmed Waisa, and the Secretary General of UNFD, Fatwa Musa. On the occasions of this meeting, the inhabitant of Obele took the opportunity to thank the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity for the many projects carried out. The Obele men and women then put forward a number of grievances, focusing in particular on access to the social insurance card to facilitate care through its management. On this point, they reported difficulties, particularly for pregnant women. Local authorities also took part in the meeting with the Obale community. The president of the Ali Sabih Regional Council, Shamaki Hassan, said that it was a pleasure and an honor for me for him as an elected official to accompany the minister to meet the Obale community to discuss and listen to its needs. It is your right. It's your right to bring your grievances to us and our duty to provide the necessary answers, he stressed. He went on to say that the inaugurations of this infrastructure will undoubtedly promote the development of agriculture in Obale. On this point, the local men and women of on access then put forward a number of grievances, focusing in particular on access to the social insurance card to facilitate care through its management. On this point, they reported difficulties, particularly for pregnant women. Local authority also took part in the meeting with the Obale community. The president of the Al Sabah Regional Council said it was a pleasure and an honor for him as an elected official to accompany the minister to meet the Obale community to discuss and listen to its needs.
annagu haddaan nahay dowladdii
The region's parliamentarian and vice president of the National Assembly, Umar Ahmed Wais, and the Secretary General of the Union for the Djiboutian Women also took part in the meeting. The region's parliamentarian and vice president of the National Assembly and the Secretary General of UNFD said that recalled that Obale lacked a lot of infrastructure, but since 2021, many things have been done for this locality, including a school and a community fund. We need to be aware of the government's effort for our well-being and use this achievement to move forward. For her part, Fatuma Musa, Secretary General of UNFD, first conveyed the greetings of the First Lady and the President of UNFD, Khadra Mahmoud Haid. She then recalled that she was present on the day of the fund's launch and that today she was proud of the Obale community for developing and benefiting from their fund. The aim of the cash is to empower women through a small project that they can carry out. The literacy training for women is also part of this approach. She declared that literate women are better able to manage and develop their funds. She concluded. The representatives of the Obale population expressed their satisfactions with the project carried out in their locality. They were particularly pleased with the cash fund set up for women to enable them to create income-generating activities. The various speakers thanked the Ministry of Social Affairs Solidarity for its commitment to the Obale community. They then outlined their needs, focusing in particular on access to health facilities, especially for pregnant women. This is why they requested the CNSS card. Other grievances were also formulated, such as the constructions of a community or where the community can meet, exchange, and share. After listening to the grievances, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Ulufa Ismail Abdo, intervened to provide the necessary response to the needs expressed. This is the second time I have been to Obale, said the Minister. And as always, we were here to listen to you and hear your grievances. Today we inaugurated a borehole. You had difficulties accessing to this indispensable material because you had to travel far to fetch it, said the Minister. It was IDDS and institutions under the supervision of our ministries that built these installations. The President of the Republic is always ready to listen to your needs, and he never ceases to give us the instructions we need to meet those needs, insisted the Minister. That said, you raised the three essential points, including the community premises. We have taken note of this point and we will make it a reality, God willing, stressed the Ministers of Social Affairs Solidarity. We know how important these facilities is. As for the CNSS cards, we are going to send a team to take the necessary steps so that these cards can be granted to you, concluded Ulufa Ismail Abdo, the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity. After the locality of Obele, the first days of the Solidarity Caravan launched, the delegation led by the Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity visited the locality of Asamo. The local population was eagerly awaiting the launch of this Solidarity Week. In Asamo, the local population was eagerly awaiting the launch of the Solidarity Week. The minister was always accompanied by authorities from the UNFT regions and the National Assembly, as well as the MAS and UNFT executives. Minister Olufa Ismail Abdo began by inaugurating a seed center, followed by the distributions of 500 tomato, onions, and okra seeds designated to improve yield. This unit is important as it is the first initiative of its kind in Djibouti, reinforced by the lesson learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. The center will benefit some 20 farmers who are members of the Asamo Agricultural Cooperative. The agronomist is in charge of the center, explains how it works and its objectives.
Des semences qui ont été sélectionnées pour leur qualité et adaptabilité aux conditions pédoclimatiques de notre.
The Minister of Social Affairs Solidarity, Olufa Ismail Abdo, then visited the Asamo Food and Fruit Processing Cooperative. On site, she was welcomed by the head of cooperative, Fathi Idli Dubad, and her team of young girls. During the visit, the minister was giving explanations on the cooperative's operation. Then Minister Olufa Ismail Abdo and the General Secretary of the Minister for Women and Family inaugurated a workshop for the productions of Asamo Jam. This unit is now equipped with the new equipment for making and preparing the jam before marketing. For the international scene, after a meeting of EU and Middle East, the heads of diplomacy in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, called for the lifting of international sanctions against Syria. Listen to the report.
Saudi Arabia on Sunday called for the lifting of sanctions on Syria after meetings with top diplomats from the Middle East and Europe that focus on the war-ravaged country's future. The Gulf Kingdom, the region's biggest economy, is seeking to increase its influence in Syria after rebels toppled longtime ruler Bashar al-Assad last month, analysis said. We stress the importance of lifting unilateral and international sanctions imposed on Syria, as their continuation hinders the aspiration of the Syrian people to achieve development and reconstruction, Saudi Foreign Ministers Prince Faisal bin Farhan said after Sunday's talks concluded in Riyadh. The agenda included a meeting of Arab officials as well as a broader gathering that also included Turkey, France, the European Union, as well as the United Nations.
In Chad, concerning the legislative elections, the political party in power wins the absolute majority.
The governing party has taken the majority of seats in last month's parliamentary election that was mostly boycotted by opposition's party according to provisional results. President Mohammed Idris Déby's party, the Patriotic Salvation Movement, has secured 124 of the 188 seats at the National Assembly. Ahmed Bachawit, head of the Electoral Commission, announced late on Saturday. The participation rate was put at 51.56%, which opposition parties said showed voters about the validity of the contest. The December 29 election was presented by Déby's party at the last stage of the country's transition to democracy after he took power as a military ruler in 2021.
And concerning football, Real Madrid and Barcelona Catalans humiliate Merengue to win Spanish Super Cup. Barcelona put in another impressive display against Real Madrid with Mbappe on target with a 5-2 victory in the Spanish Super Cup final. The 15th titles in this competition is for Barcelona thanks to goal from Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha and Balde. Having qualified after beating Atletico Bilbao 2-0, FC Barcelona met up again with their eternal rivals in the Spanish Super Cup final, Real Madrid, who had beaten Mallorca in the semi-finalists for this Clásico at the King Abdullah Sports City in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Carlo Ancelotti and Hansi Flick pulled no surprises, and the trio Rafinha, Lewandowski, Lamine Yamal, and Vinicius Mbappe Rodrigo were logically lined up for this global clash, and everything happened very quickly in this Clásico, with the Courtois making the first two saves from Lamine Yamal, and then Rafinha from close range, second and fourth. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.